What's up, everybody? Welcome to my channel, the Turbo Zone. We have a special guest today. It's the most boring intro I could do. We have a special guest today. Axel, what's up, man?
Just chilling and killing on Game Pass.
Whoa! Today, we're here to do a impressions type video. We decided recently to play a game together. And we played the new Rainbow Six game, Rainbow Six Extraction. No, not the normal content I do on this channel.
Yeah, it's Tom Clancy's. Tom Clancy's. You gotta say the whole title.
What do you know about the... Oh, sorry. Tom... Okay, well, really, it's... Hold on, what's the full title? Let me bring it up. Really, it is Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Extraction, a Ubisoft original.
Super Edition.
Turbo.
Turbo Edition.
That's me.
Arcade Edition.
What do you know about the Tom Clancy franchise?
I've been playing them since like the original Xbox, and then I never really bought any of them. I kind of rented them back then, but I'd rent them every now and then when I was kind of in the mood to play them. But I really loved Vegas 1 and 2. Those really got me into it. And then I played some of Siege when it came out, and then I kind of jumped back in a couple years later and played quite a bit of it. And they actually had I could swear I had played something like this before, and I looked back at my videos I had posted, and they actually did some kind of like trial run of this a few years ago called Rainbow Six Outbreak, and it was like a limited time mode, but it was kind of like Left 4 Dead, and kind of it's probably where they got the inspiration to do this from. But I had completely forgot about it, and I was like, I could swear I did a video for something like this a long time ago, and when I looked it up, it was Outbreak.
Was it the same premise? Was it like an alien virus, or is it like a zombie virus?
Yeah, it was like I don't know how long it lasted, but yeah, it was like just like some aliens. They weren't the same kind though. They were like they were like on 4 legs, and I don't remember any of them walking around like in this one. But it felt more like Left 4 Dead because it was mainly just kind of get from point A to point B with like a little, maybe an objective sprinkled in somewhere. But this one, is kind of less like Left 4 Dead.
I used to be really into the Tom Clancy games, especially during the Xbox PS2 era. I played a lot of Ghost Recon, those titles, and their expansions and the sequels and stuff, and I played a lot of the Splinter Cell games. And then I didn't really play a lot of Rainbow Six. I did play the original one on Dreamcast, but that game is kind of clunky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool game, but very clunky. And then when it came to 360, I was all in. I played Splinter Cell Conviction a ton. I played both of the Warfighter and Future Soldier Ghost Recon games. I played Vegas 1 and 2. And a lot of the other smaller Tom Clancy games at the time, like N-War and Hawks and stuff like that. I was super into Tom Clancy games for a while there. And then the PS4, Xbox One generation, it seemed like Sony... Sony? What did I say? Sony. Damn it, Sony. It's your fault. Ubisoft. Sony. Ubisoft decided to take the Tom Clancy games and kind of like, I don't know, devolve them into just normal Ubisoft open world experiences and shit like that. So they haven't made a Splinter Cell game in forever. I did play the Ghost Recon game on 3DS. That game was actually really good, but like they made I remember whenever they were showing off Ghost Recon Wildlands, I was pretty excited for that game, and it was one of my biggest disappointments because it was just an open world Ubisoft game.
Yeah, I bought that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I was not happy with that game. I have the second one, Breakpoint, but I haven't played it.
Yeah, I bought it when it was on sale, and like, it was like dirt cheap. It was like $12 or something stupid, and I was like,
I think I bought mine for $5.
Yeah, I was like, you know what, I might give this a shot, and I probably put less time in it, than playing it than I did installing the whole damn thing. Like, I immediately just uninstalled it.
Yeah, and I didn't really play much of Siege. Siege came out around that time that like the esports craze was really taking off. Overwatch was huge. People were talking about League of Legends and shit like that, and I think that was Ubisoft's chance to get in there and make a esports game, which is cool for them, and it looked like a competent title. But I'm not really like an esports guy, so I didn't really play much of Siege. It looked fine, but so I haven't really been in the Tom Clancy loop in a while. Plus, he's dead. He died like 2013, something like that, 14 maybe, somewhere around there. Might have been earlier than that. I don't remember. I remember him dying though and being like, "Wow, that sucks." So Ubisoft's been using the Tom Clancy name for a while to just pump out these games.
Yeah, it's like we got it on
this
there.
So this is Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Extraction. I didn't know it was based off of a previous event, but that's cool.
Yeah, I completely forgot about it, and it just kind of popped in my brain, and I started looking through my old videos.
When I originally saw this game, I didn't want to play it. I thought the idea of doing a Tom Clancy Alien game was the most ridiculous thing I had ever heard. Because if you know anything about Tom Clancy, is that like he's super, especially when it came to like his books and his games and movies, he wanted the most realistic portrayal of like military tactics. Like I remember watching interviews about the original Splinter Cell, and he didn't even want Sam Fisher to have those like goggles, the like night vision goggles, because they weren't a thing that were available at the time. So yeah, I know damn well Tom Clancy would not be approving Aliens, and that was a hump that I had to get over. But it was on Game Pass day one, and I decided to give it a try and just try to forget the the fact that they're kind of shitting on a man's legacy.
Mm-hmm. He'd come back from the dead, he'd probably fucking fire everybody.
Yeah, he'd probably sue him. Like, what you aliens? But the game overall, we played it, and we'll go into depth about what our thoughts are on that. But I think just off the cuff, just talking about like what I think overall, I like it. I don't know what your opinions are, but I think it's a really fun, competent title that could use some work, but
yeah. Some content for sure.
It's promising.
Yeah, I think it's all right. I think it just needs to be fleshed out, and that's the same with Siege when it came out. It was very, bare bones, and then it took them a couple years to flesh it out, and then it really picked up steam.
Was it on Steam?
On Steam.
So do you want to break down like what the basic idea or like gameplay loop of Extraction is?
So each run you get 3 objectives. It looks like it was pretty much just random. I didn't see an option to pick anything. And then you go in, you got like a specific area where you have one objective, and then you have to get to these checkpoints. And when you get to the checkpoint, they'd have like maybe a couple. I didn't see that many resources, but they had a couple, resources to pick up. And then after that, you would move on to the second objective, and then hit the checkpoint, and then hit the final objective before you have to extract.
And you do it in like a team of 3.
Yeah.
And which is great for co-op. Like I had a lot of fun playing co-op. And you have to pick between like a bunch of different operators that all have like unique stats and things like that, and like I guess special abilities they can use. But I think with it being a Tom Clancy game, I think a lot of the operators are just kind of lacking in personality.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I feel like they're the same operators from Siege, but I feel like they have kind of less personality than Siege. It's like you mentioned while we were playing, they all look the same pretty much. They don't stand out. And in Siege, I did notice that like some of the clothing and stuff is they don't wear the same stuff when you play Siege.
Like the only one I can think of off the top of my head, like I can name, is Sledge, and that's just because he has a big sledgehammer.
What was the guy we were making fun of? Pulse.
Pulse, yeah.
Like it'd be funny if somebody was named Pulse, and like there's a guy on here named Pulse.
Yeah. So we were like making up names. It was like Pulse, and then we were like saw the select screen, and Pulse was real.
It's like this guy's a slurper. His name must be Slurpee.
Yeah, it's they're really kind of like lacking personality, which I think might affect the enjoyment for some people. Because I know a game like this, I don't know, kind of is a little more dependent on getting to know individual characters and wanting to level them up. You know, when you play a game like, I guess, League of Legends or Overwatch, there's, you know, you want to know the cast, you know, right? You want to get familiar with those characters.
Yeah.
So, you know, if that's the kind of crowd they're going for with Extraction, kind of, you're missing out. Even, like, compared to other military games, I don't know. It's still lacking. I don't know. Granted, I can't name anybody from Call of Duty outside of guy with the mutton chops. What's his name? Pierce.
Was there a ghost guy?
Ghost? I don't remember. He's from Modern Warfare 2.
Well,
there's
the guy that's on the cover of all the games, the white guy with the gun.
What? White guy with gun?
White guy with gun.
So the idea of Extraction was originally going to be just like a random virus hit the world, and that was the plot. But then a random virus actually hit the world. So then they thought, oh yeah, we like shouldn't do that. We should like do aliens.
Yeah. Well, it was called Quarantine before, and then they decided to change the name because they couldn't call it Rainbow Six COVID. So
yeah, it was like things actually. It actually happened. They were like, well, I guess we can use the aliens idea we had before, right?
Yeah, and on the characters with the, you know, all of them kind of like losing their you know, like their standout, and they're all kind of looking the same. I just remembered there is outfits that you can get for the characters, so that's probably why they did that.
Oh yeah, do you want to talk about that? We haven't. Okay, so going into this, we played it on Game Pass. We didn't pay for it or anything. I wasn't going to pay for it anyway. But with it being on Game Pass, figured why not try it out. There is a shop system for cosmetics, and that's, as far as we can tell from the few hours we've played, that was the only time they asked for money, right?
Yes.
It was just for cosmetics.
Yeah, as far as for now, that is the only time they're wanting your money.
Now, whenever you go into a mission with the different operators and you fail that mission, you lose an operator. You have a chance to save them, usually on the next match, you know, or playthrough. So that's something, and also your operators can get injured and have to be down. We never hit a point to where either of us were out of operators, so I can't speak on that. But we were kind of like wondering if it did like ask you to like pay to, you know, refill your operators or something after you ran out. Again, we never hit that point, so we don't know.
Yeah, when I was looking at them, I didn't see like some kind of like cooldown thing where it's like, oh, if you throw some coins, you can get them back now. But I did think it's cool that when you do lose an operator, you know, your next objective would be to save an operator, so you can bring them back that way.
Yeah, which happened to us a lot.
Yeah, I think I got down to like 4 people left at one time.
We only had, of the runs we did, I think we had one run where we got through the area, but we didn't complete all the objectives. We only had one run where we actually completed all 3 objectives and then finished the run. And the objectives are usually something like, again, save the missing operator, or like activate these terminals, or take out this enemy, or get this sample. And they vary. I don't know how many different objective types there are, but between the different objective types, they shuffle pretty well, because we would get a bunch of different objectives. It wasn't always the same 3 objectives.
Yeah, that would be funny if you went into it and it just like messed up and gave you the same 3 objectives 3 times in a row.
But we didn't have that happen. But we only had one successful run. I would like to think we had gotten better at that point, but maybe it was also the fact that we had to play with a third person each time, and maybe we just got lucky and we just got a really good player.
Yeah, we realized that you need to crouch because the aliens can't see you if you're that low to the ground.
So, what stands out to this with this game? What do you think really works with Extraction?
Well, I think their mission structures stand out pretty well. I don't think I've played anything where you're doing an objective and then doing another objective, and you have the little I mean, Left 4 Dead was kind of like that, but it was mostly just, hey, we need to get from point A to point B.
Yeah,
I like the fact they
it
kept
did.
the destructible walls and things like that. I like the fact they kept all that stuff from Siege.
It did give me some Left 4 Dead feels. Maybe more than Back 4 Blood did, honestly. I mean, which Back 4 Blood was fine. It's a fun game, but like, it has its own set of issues that I won't go into right now.
I don't like cards.
But Extraction, though, I think it makes you work together as a team more. That was a hard truth that we had to face going into it because we sucked, and the game is very difficult. Even on the lowest difficulty to moderate, we were having a hard time.
Yeah.
At the beginning of our runs, we weren't completing like one objective. We weren't getting through the runs. We were just dying. And there is a little tutorial to teach you how the game works. But it is a game that is a little unforgiving. You basically each player has one time to get knocked down, and then if they get knocked down again, they're out. So you really gotta think about like sticking together and having a strategy. Each character has a limited amount of health and ammo and stuff like that, and you find supplies, but it's very limited amount of supplies. So it is a game built for strategy, which is pretty refreshing, especially when I play other co-op games and I can save the same person 100 times. Like, it is kind of neat to have that, but it is not beginner friendly. I will say that much.
And even through the training, I feel like they don't really teach you everything, because while we were playing, we were trying to figure out, what's this do? What's this icon on the map? We were still trying to figure things out.
Yeah, the training didn't go over everything, and that's something too I want to talk about. Is like, I don't think the game's HUDs and icons are the best.
No.
And I don't think the game can be a little cryptic at times. It'll tell you an objective like activate these terminals or take out this enemy, and it'll just say eliminate this target. But if you shoot the target, it's like the wrong way to do it. It'll like want you to knife the target or something, but it doesn't say that. It just says eliminate the target, and you'll have a failed objective. And stuff like that happened to us a couple times where we were like, why did we fail this objective? Like,
yeah, and like
we did
on top of like the little icons that tell you where to go, there's like other icons that pop up right in the middle of the screen telling you, hey, this creature's moving over here, this creature hears you over here, and it's like all this stuff popping up at once. I was kind of like, oh my god, what am I supposed to be doing?
Now, with us trying the game out, do you think you're going to continue to play it?
I'll probably play some more of it as long as I have some people to play with. I definitely don't recommend, somebody just playing this by themselves. They probably need some friends to really enjoy it.
Yeah, same here. I'd probably play it with friends, but I don't know how much I would. When there's other, especially if you have an Xbox, if you want to play a multiplayer game, like, you can play Halo Infinite without even needing a subscription or anything,
Yeah.
So it's like, why would you play this by yourself? But if you have friends that are into it, or if you're a Tom Clancy fan, and you want to get somebody else into it, I think Extraction is surprisingly good. I thought this game was gonna suck, because it's a modern day Ubisoft game, and it's a Tom Clancy game based on aliens.
Yeah, and it kind of feels like just kind of like a spin-off. But even then, when Siege came out, Siege kind of felt like a spin-off, honestly, just because of how it didn't have barely anything in it.
Well, Siege was weird. Like weren't they working on like a full Rainbow Six game that we never saw?
I think it was called Sons of the Patriots or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. That's Metal Gear, right?
Oh.
That's Metal Gear Solid 2.
It was something Patriot. But yeah, it had like the story was supposed to have like choices that you make that impact the story and things like that, and then they just decided to scrap it for esports, I guess.
It might have just been Patriot.
Yeah, it might have just been Patriot.
But I remember seeing that, being excited for that, and then it never came around.
Yeah, I remember having like the Game Informer that had it on the cover and everything.
Yeah, it was and that was around the era that like right before I was getting disappointed, because like, and then they showed Wildlands, and it was like do the objectives however you want it.
Do what you want when you want.
But like, what by that I thought they meant like, oh, I have different tactics to take down the objectives. No, they literally meant do whatever you want. Like I could fly a helicopter into the objective and crash into it.
They're
So,
like,
and it's like that's cool. That's cool if I'm playing like just Cause or GTA or something. But I'm playing Ghost Recon, where like I'm supposed to be these tactical ghost soldiers, and I'm fucking doing the stupidest shit.
yeah, and then it
You know,
when it's just open world and it's like you don't have like this, this big, set thing, that you're supposed to be sneaking through or something. It's just a camp that they just threw together with some soldiers they just threw in there, and it's like do what you want. It's not the same thing.
So I'm sort of glad to see Extraction as granted Siege was an esport, but I'm glad to see Extraction is at least it kind of feels like some of the older Tom Clancy games in a sense, with the fact that you have to work together and be strategic and have some semblance of tactics. You can't just run and gun, you can't just run in and do whatever because you will get punished.
Yeah, real quick.
So,
but I am glad
overall,
they put it on Game Pass, so that way I didn't have to spend money on it.
Yeah, dude, me too, absolutely. Like I said, I would not have played this. I would have definitely skipped this title because of just the Ubisoft and Tom Clancy branding and stuff like that. Now, like I don't have a lot of faith in either. So I would have said. I mean, I didn't even play Far Cry 6. You played that one. You did a review of that one.
Yeah, I played that one.
I haven't. I don't know when the last time was that I bought a Ubisoft game. I couldn't tell you.
Breakpoint.
It's been a while.
Broke Point.
I broke it. But anyway, man. Thanks for coming on the channel, Mood.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm down to play anything, anytime.
Do you have anything you want to say to the people watching Turbo Zone right now?
Turbo?
Where can they find you?
I'm on Friendly Fire Gaming and on Discord all the time. So
I'll put a link to Friendly Fire Gaming in the description. Go subscribe to Axel.
please.
Hopefully he'll return.
Please.
Please. Please subscribe to Axel.
Get my numbers up, please.
I gotta pay my bills. I'm getting 2 pennies off of YouTube every day.
I don't even think I'm getting that.
No, I'm not getting anything off YouTube. Bye.